Hey, you want to hear about AI?
Last time I posted, I talked about my top 10 AI tools for sales and marketing. Today, I'm going to go into a bit more detail about why I chose those tools and actually what I used them for. And I might even give you some examples of, or some tips on how to use them. So to start with, my all-time favorite, and the first one I was introduced to, or that I introduced myself to, is ChatGPT. The reason I say that is because it just, for me, feels like the everyman's tool for AI. It's a real jack of all trades. It can do a bit of everything. In the context of sales and marketing, it's unbelievably useful in ABM when you start thinking about your strategy phase and your messaging phase. You should never let AI try and do the strategy and messaging for you, but it's a very good companion for you to start bouncing ideas off and to start fleshing out what actually the story that you want to tell is, so that you can get to that narrative. It's, as a tip, you can actually get it to ask you questions and say, here's the campaign I have in mind, here's the challenge, ask me some questions and let's just work on this together. I use the voice mode of ChatGPT all the time when I'm on dog walks, and I will just have a conversation with it. And you won't believe how much it never gets you to a final product, but it gets you on that train of thinking to ultimately get there. It's also amazing when it comes to personalization and content generation, just as a tool so that you can draft stuff out at scale, especially for ABM, where we all know the biggest barrier to get to ABM is resource and capacity. Really, it's just how can I actually scale personalization to the hundreds or even thousands of accounts in my total addressable market. I'm going to ask my editor to add an overlay onto this, but here is my biggest tip of how to use ChatGPT, and that is you can actually almost get it to write prompts for you. So I'll talk about this in another video, but I'll talk about the Ryzen methodology as an example. And you'll see it on screen here, you just type in, please help me to construct a prompt using the Ryzen methodology. So then you can say that's roles, instructions, steps, endpoint, and narrowing, and then just throw all of the context that you have in there. You don't need to structure it. And then click go, and you'll be amazed at what comes out. And then you can take that, tweak it, optimize it, and then use that back into a tool like GPT or Perplexity or Claude or any of them. You can use GPT as your tool to help you with prompt engineering.